Hello, I'm the Oliver Pickard and welcome to beautiful Limousin, France. Today's video is the penultimate part of our Retromobile 2020 series, and in today's video it's a bit different. It's an interview and it's with my now friend Martin, who I first met him through his sculptures. I saw his sculptures and I was staring at this thing for about 10 minutes. It was a GN, which is a 1920 cycle car that's the model's about the size of a shoebox. And I was staring at this thing and all the details in it for about 20 minutes until I finally decided, right, I have to meet the person who created this. And it turns out that Martin is an incredibly interesting individual, a very creative individual. Obviously he's a sculptor, but the stuff that he makes is incredible. And I had to meet him, and I had to talk to him, and I had to ask him questions about what he does and the way that he does it. And you know, I'm from an engineering background, a restoration background, all that, and we all love cars, and so does Martin. And so I really had to meet this person and talk to him about what he did and his motivation behind what he did. I find Martin fascinating, and I hope you do too. So without further ado, please enjoy this video.
Otto, Lambert, Heukeshoven.
Pleasure to meet you, Martin. I'm Oliver. And I love your GN. So tell me about this.
The GN is a good example for my artwork I did since 20 years. I work with real original stuff. Worn out material I prefer with the original surface. Wooden parts, leather, glass and rotted metal.
Okay.
And the GN was for me interesting because I need a project that goes quick for me as a kind of etude. And I see the original cars often in racing, and they have their special fascination.
Yeah.
And each competition cars, like the closed bodies from the 50s, I make all different types of them, are very complex in bodyworking, in my technique. So I research for very good sources in books, or make photos on exhibitions, or on the racetrack in the pits, and make my own design. But I feel free to interpret the projects. I'm not the slavish rivet counter modeler. I'm more artist and want to snap up the character of the cars.
I like that.
And in that fact, it was without his skin. I see often it's strapped only with some belts on it, and so the art is to left things away. And so it's like a technical drawing, and you can see.
And so, do you prefer the curves and swoops of bodywork, or do you?
It depends
prefer
on
mechanical guts.
Yeah, it depends on the mood. I start really with the skeleton inside. It's like a design you take when you make a painting. You need the basics for the structure, and then I lay over a surface. And in that project, I stop in that estate because I want to see all the techniques inside. And what makes a GN or a car from that epoch,
to
brass
capture its
parts,
soul,
and it's a little bit improvisation there, and so that's it.
Oh, fantastic! And how long does it take you to make something like this, for example?
Normally, I spend 2 or 3 months in a project in this size. For example, the car here, the Bentley Continental, that's more complex in construction. It needs 5-6 months. Intense work from the beginning, and searching for the parts in my stock. I have a workshop here with all my material. It's like you have a good expression in England. It's called scratch build.
Yeah.
You scratch in a box, and you're inspired from that moment you found a piece.
So you're not a planner. There's no great drawn out.
It's something between creation and construction.
Yeah.
It's difficult. It seems to be that I create a new manner to handle that.
Yeah.
Some people look at my stuff and they saw models,
Yeah.
but I prefer the expression technical sculptures
Yeah.
because it's a unique piece. For me, it's never possible to repeat the same.
Yeah. But also a car is a technical sculpture as well. You
Yeah,
know, it's a
it's
thing of beauty, but it also has a function.
Yeah, and when you use a big idol to make a sculpture from
Yeah.
it brings a lot of appeal.
Yeah.
When the big one has really good form,
Yeah.
you can barely make a sculpture from a Hindustan ambassador.
Yeah.
It will look like a shoebox at the end, but you have a Tatra or a DS,
Yeah,
a car who bring the art from natural.
Yeah, and
that
instead of just
work
being
well.
even instead of just being a copy or a
Yeah,
photocopy
yeah.
or a representation,
And-
it's a sculpture. It's
and
an artwork.
And also, I love those barn find stuff since I was a young
Yeah.
boy.
So do
love
I.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Do you find that you have to like maintain momentum with these kind of builds?
To use original.
No,
what do you mean?
in your own process of making the cars, can you make two at once, or do you have to start one and then just concentrate on that one?
Because that trouble that I bring my beautiful stuff to the public, I show it, and in the same time I say it's not longer available because they are unique.
Yeah.
But the people admire it and they want to have it.
Yeah.
So I get sometime the request for the same car type, but I have to refuse and say I'm sorry, but it's really a problem for me because
or a similar,
I know.
Or a similar
So
car.
I
but
tried
different,
it just one time to make two Ferrari California Spiders in the same time, but it don't work for me.
No.
It was a test, and it was for me like
Yeah.
it don't work.
But do you make what I mean is, do you make multiple sculptures at the same time, or when you are building one car?
I'm really focused on one project. I try everything. I do this for 20 years, and I try out every kind of process.
Yeah.
But at the end, it's really good to start with the bare table and be focused on one.
Yeah.
And perhaps you work one day 8 hours or just 3 hours, the next 12 hours.
Yeah, because you have to be in the.
It depends on
in
really
that moment,
what happens on the day. Because you scratch in the box, you find a piece, and at that day you decided to make the carburetor with those pieces. Perhaps the next day you scratch in another box and it will be finally have another look.
And do you have nights when you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, I've got it, that thing that I've been trying to figure out for ages?
Yeah, sometimes that happens because really you're reflecting a lot during you try to sleep, and it's like the light bulb.
Yeah, just goes.
Yeah, often you fail on the workbench.
Yeah.
And you have rested, close the door, have a meal, or
and then you come back with fresh eyes, and you're like, why didn't I just get it before?
Easy. Sometimes the solution is so easy.
I'm exactly the same.
Yeah, and you develop a lot of stuff from one project to the next. The experience is enormous. But the danger is, for me, I'm never satisfied.
Yeah.
I'm so interested, and that horizon moves forward.
I think that's
So-
important, though.
Yeah, and that thing, you're right.
Being driven to create, and the fact that it's always a moving goalpost.
Yeah, being driven is a good expression. Yeah, sometimes it's a must.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see something in any coherence, and it boils up in your mind. And when I found one piece, often just one piece in a bric-a-brac or scrapyard or somewhere, it brings off an idea and like an ignition for a complete enchainment of pieces in my stock. And so I have some boxes that are kind of
preemptive thinking.
Yeah. There are a box for a MiG-21. There are
That's
a box
fantastic.
for a U-boat or an electric diesel electric Detroit engine, a huge locomotive or
That's
something.
superb. So you
But
don't just do car sculptures; you do all mechanical things.
If I found the time to let out my own spirit, I make a biplane, I make a racing plane, but for sure the focus is on cars, on retromobile, and that really brings my income.
Yeah.
But my idol is to find a balance between my commission works and my own ideas.
Yeah, things that
when
pay
I
bills
do
and things that drive you. I think that's every creative person, you know.
Every artist.
And
has the
I think
same
we all
problem.
have something deeply wrong with us, where I think if we created the perfect thing, and we were just like, right, I'm done, I'm never going to do this ever again, and walk away, we can't do that. There's some hole in our personality that's kind of, it's never good enough.
Yeah, if that happens, the pony is dead and you have to walk.
Yeah. Yeah, there'd be no point in starting, you know what I mean?
But my experience in all this work is now very, very big, but I go further and further. I spend more time in the next project. Thank God I increased my prices over the years. So when I think about my
so you can
debut,
afford to do it. Yeah.
so it's fine. My first work I created was a Porsche Speedster, nearby 20 years ago. It came really by accident. I have some furnitures and other stuff in an exhibition, and I get a commission from a guy who lives in London at that time. He gave me a phone call to Stuttgart. He saw one of my stuff somewhere, and he couldn't forget it. And he commissioned me to make a Porsche Speedster.
Oh, fantastic.
At first I refused and I said, that's model making, I don't know if it works. And so I tried it out and I was totally surprised by myself how good it works. And now the idea is born. The next step was the first retromobile in 2004. And it goes up like a rocket. I fell up the upstairs.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
So it's absolute fantastic. And it brings a little bit that expression to find the right people in the right spot on the right moment. And do your thing with passion and don't care too much about what people say. That's my advice.
If you are doing anything creative, that is literally the best advice anyone can give you. And not everyone is always going to love it either. And you've just sometimes you've just got to.
In my fact, it's 99% love them.
Yeah. But
2% are able to afford it and want to have it, and 1%, perhaps 1.5%, I can't stand it. It's too ugly.
Yeah.
But it's a really, really small amount of people who say, I can't handle it.
That sounds like my videos. But I can't afford one of your sculptures, unfortunately. But I do utterly adore them. Where in the world are you based, sir?
I'm in Stuttgart, Germany.
Okay.
My family is founded in Belgium, but I lived for a long time in South Germany. And I start there with all my projects from by the way, I restore cars by myself.
Oh,
I'm
fantastic.
a passion collector of old Citroens.
Oh,
and if
superb.
I find time, they are looking the opposite, the antipode.
Yeah. I drive a 1963 2CV. That's my daily driver. It's a mix
I
as well, it's
restore
a rare one.
actually an AK 500 fourgonette.
Oh, fantastic.
I have a 1939 Traction.
Oh, superb.
And my DS I sold because it's too fragile.
Yeah.
I make one day I make a in the past I have created a DS21 for the 15th anniversary of DS here in Paris, and it's entitled The Fragile Beauty. And it was totally rotten.
Oh, fantastic! Thank you very much. So that was my interview with Martin Otto Lambert Heukeshoven. I think I've pronounced that right. I'm not good with the names. We all know I'm not good with the names, and that's a very difficult one. Thank you all for watching. If you have any comments or questions or anything like that, please leave them down in the comments below. Martin actually might chip into a few of these comments and answer a few himself. I don't know. I will be sending this video to Martin so he can check it out himself. Thank you hugely to Martin. It was lovely to meet him, and we actually talked for a while after the camera stopped rolling, and we just became friends. We just nattered, and without a doubt one of the coolest people I met at Retromobile. And definitely someone that I want to meet again, because it's utterly lovely chap. And if you'd like to, commission a piece or have any inquiries, I'll leave Martin's information at the end of this video. So, thank you very much for watching this video. Please be awesome to each other, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.